Okay, so I'm sitting inside of a 2018 Honda Odyssey. This is the EXL model, and I'm going to walk you through some features and benefits just to help you out. So let's start you over here on the left side. First thing you're going to see is your windows. These are powered windows, power window locks, and then your powered mirrors. You know, your left and right. You can control the pad. It is an EXL model, so it does come with memory seating. So that's what's going on right here. Jumping over here, these are my releases for my doors, which I can turn on and off from there. My trunk release, it is an EXL model, so this is powered. Vehicle Stability Assist works with your traction control to transfer power amongst the wheels to whichever one needs it. So if you lose traction on one side, it'll transfer more to the other side. My road departure mitigation system you can currently see is on. The green light is on. I can turn it off and on that way. And then my forward collision mitigated braking system is right here, which is always on unless I press and hold this for 3 to 4 seconds to turn it off. The same as my Vehicle Stability Assist. So down here you can see I do have an electronic parking brake. So to use so, I would put my foot on the brake and then push to set, pull to release. So that's how that works, just in case you were wondering. Brake hold is another button down here. If I'm in stop and go traffic, I can press this button, and when I come to a complete stop, the car can remain in drive and it'll hold the brake for me, as opposed to me having to hold it. So that's what it's for. It's more of a convenience feature. Down underneath, I will show you that you can see it right here. There's a lever. You pop this down, and this is what allows you to adjust your steering wheel in and out and up and down. So that's what's going on right there. And then you just push it back up in to lock it into place. On the steering wheel, Bluetooth control, so to answer a phone call, hang up. Voice commands, whether it be for using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can hold this till you hear the beep for Siri if you want to go that route. Or if it's just simple commands like, call so-and-so, that sort of thing. Home button right here is actually going to affect what's going on up here. So when I press it, you'll see that menu pop up, and then I can toggle through and select what I want. So right now I had just what I was listening to, so that way I can see the station that is playing on my touchscreen. Down here you can see I do have a back button also in case I've pressed the wrong thing and want to back out of it. Once I've moved into that menu, we're using this, I can use the plus and minus to search around and press enter. The same thing. These will work with as far as, if I wanted to jump around as far as what I'm listening to. You can see I can toggle through some different things here. Android Auto, Sirius XM, Apple CarPlay, auxiliary inputs, USBs, just all the different ways you can listen to music here. So that's what's going on there. My volume controls are right here, so simple stuff. You can figure this out, I'm sure. Over here, you're going to see what is part of my Honda Sensing Suite. Whenever I press the main button, it is going to activate ACC and LKS, which is Adaptive Cruise Control and Lane Keep Assist. Lane Keep Assist is this button right here, so whenever I engage this, you'll see some dotted lines come on up there, so that's what just popped on right there. Once those fill in solid, which they'll fill in solid from 45 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, it's now reading the road using a camera that's actually up here, so that's what's up here. That same camera is what also detects, signs on the road, things like that. So it'll work in that sense that it'll keep you in your lane. If you start to veer out, it'll naturally kind of pull you a little bit back over to keep you centered. It's not overpowering. It's anything that you could take over if you wanted to. So just be aware of that. If you jerk the wheel real hard, it's not going to correct for you that in that sense. It's going to be real subtle. My adaptive cruise control. So once I get going up to whatever speed I want, I would press set, and then from here I could set the distance between me and the car in front of me. So as I press this, you'll see up there that it's going to create less and less distance. So that's the most distance all the way down to the least amount of distance, and that's just going to keep a barrier between me and the car in front of me. So if I'm going 65 and that guy slows down to 55, my car will slow down and keep whatever designated amount of space I create. So on this car, you will notice that it does have paddle shifters, so they are on both sides over here. So just allowing you to affect the shift points a little bit more. You can see that I do have auto on lights, which are on right now, and then I have fog light controls that are down here that I can turn on and off. So that's what's going on there. Over here, I do have my windshield wiper controls, which this is the rear, and then moving the whole thing up and down will affect the front. Jumping over here to the center stack, you'll notice the touchscreen. Touchscreen is great in this vehicle. Super easy to use, super easy to understand, and everything's very simple. You can see all your different options here, and then I also have some quick options up here that remain here, and I can adjust all these things. So that's the really cool part to it, being able to push something and kind of move it around. It immediately pulls you into an option to show you how to do these things. So super simple. Just wanted to show you that. You can see the different options here. So phone, my settings as far as car settings goes, everything is right here. As far as what I can get to, if you want to mess with door locks, windows, lighting, and everything like that is in here. So this is like a personalized settings worksheet thing that I would go through with you. If you bought the car from me, we would go through and figure, hey, how do I want my door setups, as far as the door locks, the door unlocks, and things like that. So that's where these are in case you ever want to mess with them. So settings, vehicle, and then you're here. So that's what's going on there. All right, let's back out of that screen back to the home page. FM is pretty self-explanatory. Bluetooth audio, once you connect up once, you'll be able to connect up wirelessly from there on out. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, if I plug into the USB, that's what allows me to access those two programs depending on my phone type. So for me, I'd be using a Samsung-based phone. It would use Android Auto, which allows me to get to OK Google, which also allows me to get to Google Maps and Waze. Right now, Apple CarPlay is a little bit harder. You can only get to Apple Maps, but there's some updates on the way, so be on the lookout for that. And if you really want to do it, there's a few videos out there, and I could probably show you one too on how to work around that if you wanted to use an Apple-based phone to get Google Maps. So trip computer, that's just general information. If you received a text, you can see right there. You do have 90 days of satellite radio, USB inputs. Social playlist is really cool. You can have multiple people in the car, and they can select songs and kind of add them into the playlist. So it just gives you a different way to listen to music as a family or as a group of people traveling together. You can see that you can store music to the vehicle, so that's kind of cool too. Then Honda Link, which will allow you some different accesses according, if you're connected up to Wi-Fi. It'll give you things like maintenance reminders, recall notices, things like that, as far as just general info. And in the future, you're going to see things like being able to start your car remotely with your phone, searching for your vehicle, just different things like that. But some of them are going to be subscription-based, so be aware of that. So that's kind of the touchscreen, just a quick breakdown of it, just to kind of walk you through some basics. You can see your AC controls are a little bit below that, so everything right here. So that's what's going on right there. So if I press front control, it'll give me access to that, and then I can affect it. If I wanted to sync it up to where left and right are being controlled at the same time, that's what this button is. My fan speed, so how much air I want, that kind of thing. And you can see now the sync button is lit up. And I can unsync it, and then I could change the temperatures. So if I wanted my temperature to be a little bit higher than theirs, so that's what's going on there. So just so we got that all in one, so you could understand kind of what's going on there. And then you can affect the rear climate control, and you can also lock it, which is nice if you have little ones in the back that are messing with anything. So just be aware of that. A little bit further down, you'll see my heated seat control. So I've got 3 different options right here, and it's as simple as that, toggling through, and I've got both sides. My snow, this just affects the shifting points, and it's going to allow you a little bit better traction if you're in the snow. So that's what this button is right here. And then my econ button, which if I press this, you'll see a green light come on up there. And that's just letting you know that you'll be getting improved gas mileage, but it will affect things like the accelerator and the AC unit, so dampen some things, so be aware of that. And then you'll see on the other side I do have my flashers, and right now this is alerting me that, of course, I don't have somebody in the seat next to me, so the airbag is turned off. Right here you can see that all my controls, in the sense of for my my vehicle, as far as the transmission, it's just buttons, it's not a standard shifter. So that's what's going on here. If I put my foot on the brake, throw it in reverse, it's just a matter of pulling this trigger down. And then you can see my backup camera pops up, and I have 3 different views that I can switch between, which is really nice, depending on what you need to do as far as wide angle, normal, or if you're backing straight up and you want to see that back bumper and where the hatch opens to, which is that dotted line. And then you can see cross traffic monitoring is working over here in case somebody was coming from my left or right. So let me shift back out of that and put it into park. So that's what's going on there. My center console is a little bit different from previous generations. So you can see it's sitting right here in front of me, and I have a slide out here. And then inside of here, I do have a couple inputs. So that's what's going on right there. And then you can see I do have another power outlet down here as also. This is an EXL model, so it does come with leather. I'm sitting in one of the Obsidian Blue models, and this does have the gray leather interior. So in case you were curious as to what that interior looks like, now you can see it. The EXL model, of course, does come with a moonroof, so that's going to be standard. Moonroof meaning you can open it, whether it be cracking it or whether it be opening it completely. And then I do have stuff that's carried over from generations, so sunglass holder and the mirror to keep the eye on the people in the back. And then you can see my rear controls for the AC are going to be back here up on the ceiling in case I need to do that. So I'm going to hop out and show you this second row just because there's some really cool stuff with this going on. And I typically have a lot of questions about it. Unlock this. All right, so this second row is completely removable. And you'll notice down here there are handles, and the handles are what allow me to shift over. So I would just grab, and then I could shift left and right. So if I remove the center console, I could shift the seat left and right. So that way if people are getting in and out of the car, it gives me a different option to do it without having to worry about car seats being in the way and things like that. And then my entire third row back here will actually go into the back of the vehicle. So let me walk around to this. So let's get this open up here for you, which this is powered, so you can see the controls right there. The third row is actually going to fold away in here, which is indicative of a lot of the generations of the vehicle. So you can see it's what they call the magic seat. I can fold it and put it away right here. So if I need to, I've got it. One quick secret I will show you that a lot of people like from previous generations is if I'm opening this thing, if I open it halfway, I can do a really cool trick. So if you're out there watching your kids play sports, I can keep it locked in its position, slide these out, And now I have it set up to where somebody could sit in this, be covered by the shade, be able to watch your kids play soccer or something like that if they're out in the field for hours. So just be aware that that's what's going on there. And that trick is available to you to use, so I would take advantage of it. Other than that, that's the vehicle. Hopefully you've seen how it works and how it looks. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can always email me, jfuller@howdyhonda.com. You can always respond to this YouTube video or call me at 512-443-4300 and just ask for Justin. Thank you much.